Welcome students to the online class. In the previous class we learned financial statements without adjustment for 6 marks. In this class we are going to learn how to prepare financial statements with adjustments. Now, why adjustments are necessary when financial statements are prepared? Now, these adjustments are prepared to ensure that our financial accounts are giving us a correct financial position of the business. Sometimes it may happen that expenses may not be paid at time, or there may be certain expenses which are received in advance. So depreciation, certain non-cash items will be there which adjustments have to be made. Then only we will get our real or the correct financial position. So for that we have to do these adjustments and it has to show in our financial statements. So according to fully disclosure concept, whatever is done in the business has to be shown in the books of accounts. So this principle is to be kept, and based on this principle the adjustments have to be made. So we are having some 13 adjustments which are given in this particular topic, and you have to remember all these adjustments because maximum mean 4 may come, a minimum of 4 may be coming in the financial statements for 12 marks. And students, it is very important to remember how the treatment is being done more than the adjusting entries. Adjusting entries are just given because you may get a 2 marks question on what is the adjusting entry for closing stock or for depreciation or for providing provision for doubtful debts and etc. So the adjustments, they are adjusting entries which are the closing entries which will appear only in the journal proper, and you are having the treatment, how it is done in trading profit and loss account and the treatment in balance sheet. So we'll start with the closing stock. Now closing stock is the stock at the end of the year. So this stock does not appear in our trial balance. It appears only in the adjustments. So whenever it appears in the adjustments, it has to be recorded twice because we are doing double entry system. So closing stock is shown once in the trading account on the credit side, and at the same time it is also shown on the asset side of balance sheet. So remember, closing stock, show it on the credit side of trading account and the second entry in the balance sheet on asset side. Now outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are expenses yet to be paid. These expenses belong to the current year or they are relating to current year. So when financial statements are prepared, all current year expenses and current year incomes have to be shown as expenses of the same year. So such outstanding expenses which are not yet paid is added to the respective expense in profit and loss account or trading account depending upon the type of expense, and the same amount which is unpaid is shown as a liability on the liability side of balance sheet. Third one is prepaid expense. Now prepaid expense is expense which is not yet paid, which is paid in advance. Prepaid means advance payment made for the expense. So such amount which is paid in advance will be taken on the this deducted from the respective expenses either from profit and loss account or trading account, and also show it on the asset side of balance sheet. Now coming to income earned but not received. These are outstanding incomes or accrued incomes, incomes pertaining to the current year. So such amount will be added to the respective incomes and it is shown on the asset side of balance sheet. So when it is added to profit and loss account in the respective the account. Now in trading account, sales is the main source of income and it is only the direct source. So leaving sales, any other incomes earned are indirect expenses, so it will come in profit and loss account only. So such incomes which are earned and not yet received will be added to the respective incomes in P&L account. Now income received in advance. Now when incomes are received in advance, that means they are incomes pertaining to the next year. So next year income cannot be taken as a current year income. So such income is to be deducted from the respective incomes in the credit side of profit and loss account, and the same amount of deduction is shown as a liability on the in the balance sheet. Now depreciation. Depreciation is the loss in the value of assets. The loss or reduction in the value of fixed assets only is treated as depreciation. Such depreciation is a loss, so we have to debit it to profit and loss account, and at the same time it has to be reduced from the respective asset in the balance sheet. Next, you are having appreciation. In appreciation, it is the increase in the value of assets. Now if I take land and building, when we purchase land and building, after 4 to 5 years or 3 years, you can see there is slight increase in the value of such land or buildings. So such increase or gain, rise in the value of asset is treated as appreciation. So it's an income or a gain. So such incomes or gains are shown on the credit side of profit and loss account, and it is added to the respective asset in the balance sheet. Now coming to bad debts. Now bad debts are debts which are bad debts are the debts which are not received or irrecoverable debts. Such debts have to be shown on the debit side of profit and loss account because it is a loss, and the same amount of bad debts is to be deducted from the debtors on the asset side. Now if trial balance has the bad debts, need not consider it will be taken only once on the profit and loss account. But if bad debts are appearing in adjustments, then the adjustment amount has to be taken twice, once in profit and loss account and the adjustment in asset on the asset side in the debtors account. Now coming to provision for doubtful debts. Now provision for doubtful debts is also a charge on the profit. Now when we know a loss is going to occur, so whenever known losses are being provided or charged to profit and loss account, it becomes a provision. So all provisions are amounts set aside to recover or make good a known loss. So provision for doubtful debts means the amount on debtors is not sure to be received. So when they are doubtful to be received, that time certain provisions can be made by the proprietor. So such provision is a loss and debited to profit and loss account and deduct the same amount from the debtors on the asset side. Now provision for discount on debtors. Now we can give discount on debtors, but discount given or discount allowed is a loss. So to make good of that loss, provision is being made by the proprietor in advance. So such provisions is debited to profit and loss account and the amount of discount allowed is deducted from the debtors on the asset side. Next we are having provision for discount on creditors. To give prompt payment, discount earned or discount is given by the creditors. Such discount given by creditors is discount is earned. So such earned discount is an income, so it is to be credited to profit and loss account, and that amount of discount is to be deducted from the liability in the balance sheet. Next, interest on capital. Interest on capital is the expense where firm is providing certain interest on the investment. So such expense on investment or interest is a expense. Show it on the debit side of profit and loss account and add it to capital on the liability side. The last adjustment, interest on drawings. Now firms can charge interest on the proprietor's drawings. So such interest on drawings is paid by the proprietor towards the firm. So it's an income credited to profit and loss account and deduct that amount of interest from the capital on the liability side. So these are the entries or adjustments which are normally done during financial statements. Now these adjustments will be appearing twice because it is double entry system. So we'll see one problem how it is prepared with the adjustments. From the following trial balance, prepare financial accounts. So you're having trial balance, drawings, machinery, scooter, debtors, wages, cash, salaries, repairs, opening stock, rent, manufacturing expenses, debts, carriage on sales. Now carriage on sales is a indirect because sales will be including that amount of carriage. Purchases, then you are having the amount of capital, creditors, sales, bills payable. So this is the trial balance which is given to us and the adjustments are given here. Closing stock is 1600, depreciation by 10% and 5% on scooter and machinery. Then wine 50 rupees is due, that means outstanding for wages. Rent is paid in advance for rupees 50. Now from this you have to prepare the trading profit and loss account. So remember, when I am preparing trading profit and loss account and balance sheet, I have to remember all assets and liabilities are taken to the balance sheet, whereas expenses are taken in trading profit and loss account. So trading account has only direct expenses, profit and loss account has indirect expenses. So in trading account I will start with opening stock, that is 1600, which is existing. Next I have purchases made during the year. So if we see the trial balance, there are purchases given just before the total which amounts to 2000. Next in the balance sheet, wages are amounting to 800, but you are having the third adjustment which says 150 rupees are due for wages. That means it is to be paid to the wagers. So you have to add such unpaid wages to 800. So total wages paid for the year will be 950. So wages given in trial balance 800 plus adjustment of 150 gives me a total of 950. Next, manufacturing expenses are all direct expenses relating to production, 150. Now coming to the income side. So I have sales. Sales is 4200 and closing stock which is given in the adjustment. So the first adjustment should be in trading account 1600. So total is 5800. Now from 5800 I will deduct all the amounts which are written on the debit side. So the difference will be 1100. So 1100 is the gross profit, that is the amount of incomes minus the amount of expenses. The difference will be gross profit. So this gross profit is to be transferred to profit and loss account. So here we are having profit and loss account which is prepared. So gross profit we got 5800 from the trading account. Now we'll go to the other expenses which are not entered in trading account. So all the expenses leaving from trading account, rest all expenses are entered here. All these are indirect expenses which are relating to administrative and selling expenses. So now salaries, you are having 800. Next, repairs to machines and other things, it amounts to 190. Now we have given rent. In the trial balance it is 450 and adjustment number 4 says 50 rupees rent is paid in advance. So 450 minus 50 advance payment will give me 400. So this advance payment is for the next year. Next, you're having bad debts which is given in the trial balance. Directly I'll write 500. Now carriage on sales is 160. Now coming to depreciation. Depreciation is given for two fixed assets. One is machinery, other one is scooter. So on machinery at 10% of 12,000. So cancel 10, you will get 1,200. Now scooter 10% is 2,600. So now 2,600 divided by 2 will give me 1,300. So 1,300 should be added to 260, which gives me a total of 390. So 15% of 2,600 is 390. Now coming to the this income side, we don't have any incomes. So now total all the asset side, now we are having only 5,800 as my gross profit, but my expenses are more. So since my expenses are more, I will take the higher total, that is 3,140 is higher, which is the debit side total. The same total is written on the credit side, 3,140. Deduct 5,800, I will get a loss of 2,440. So that net loss is taken to balance sheet. So remember, expenses minus incomes gives me net loss. Incomes minus expenses gives me net profit. So here in this problem we are having a loss of 2,540. Now this amount of 2,540 is transferred to my balance sheet. So in this balance sheet we can see all the adjustments of 1, 2, 3, 4 which is done. So first I have capital which is taken from the trial balance, 20,000. From that I will deduct my net loss, 2,540. Next I have drawings which is being made during the year. First entry on the debit side of trial balance, 1,700. So when I adjust this 4,240 rupees from the 20,000, I will get 15,760 as my net profit, next capital available for that particular year. Next we are having creditors 2,600, bills payable 2,350 from trial balance. Next, outstanding wages. Now adjustment number 4 shows that 150 was outstanding. So adjustment 4 is taken in liability side of balance sheet. Outstanding expense. All outstanding expenses are liabilities because we have to meet them one or the other day. Now coming to machinery. Machinery is 12,000. Depreciation at 10% gives me 10,800. Next, scooter you are having 2,600. Depreciation at 15% gives me 390. So I have to deduct the amount of depreciation from the respective assets and the net amount is written in the amount column. Now debtors we are having 3,600. Bad debts were given in the trial balance, so again it will not appear. No adjustment was relating to bad debts, so directly the book value of 3,600. Cash is given 2,600. Next we are having closing stock which is given in adjustment 1, so 1,600. Advance rent is there which is adjustment 3 of 50 rupees. So now total my asset side and the liability side, both the sides have to give me the same total. So my balance sheet is based on the equation assets is equals to liabilities plus capital. So if my liabilities and assets capital give me the same, it shows my balance sheet or financial statement is correct. So remember, whenever financial statements are prepared, all adjustments are entered twice in financial statements, once in profit and loss account or trading account and the second time in balance sheet. Second note, all direct entries are entered in trading account, all indirect entries are entered in profit and loss account, all assets and liabilities to be entered in the balance sheet. So this will end today's class. In next class we will have some more problems on financial statements. Thank you.